You may have heard that electricity capacity rates in many markets will increase on June 1st, 2025. An easy way to help offset capacity rate increases is by joining a demand response program. What is a demand response program? Well, demand response, or DR, programs pay customers to reduce usage during times of peak electricity demand. What does that mean? On an extremely hot or cold day, electricity usage increases for cooling or heating needs. When this happens, demand for electricity can exceed grid capacity. If you have the ability to reduce your electricity usage on these days, you may qualify for DR payments from the grid. So how does DR relate to capacity? Capacity is a charge that we all pay as part of our electricity bill to ensure that our electric grid has enough power during peak demand. Since electricity is not able to be stored, power must be produced at the same time that it is used. Capacity markets exist to make sure that there is a balance between available electricity supply and the demand, particularly on days of extremely high demand. Many of the U.S. regional power grids operate capacity markets to maintain this balance. Here's an example. A good way to understand capacity is to use the example of Uber. If a concert ends and everyone is trying to order an Uber at the same time, there would be a higher demand at that time, and riders would see what's known as surge pricing. Capacity markets operate in much the same way. With electricity usage in the U.S. increasing without the addition of new power generation to accommodate, we are seeing increased surge pricing by way of higher capacity costs. The main difference between capacity markets and Uber surge pricing is the existence and concept of demand response. Imagine if Uber, in addition to charging surge pricing, also provided cash payments to incentivize riders to choose to ride during non-surge times of travel. This is how demand response programs work. Interested? Well, if you are interested in participating in a demand response program, the first step is to see if you operate in one of the states that operate demand response programs. Next, you need to engage with a consultant and/or demand response provider to assess whether your site has the ability to reduce power during peak times. You will want to include your building engineer and/or facility manager in this step. If you are able to reduce usage and participate in a DR program, the final step is to negotiate with the demand response provider. You will want to make sure that you are retaining as much of the DR payments for your facility as possible, while also protecting yourself from any penalties if you fail to comply with the program. Once enrolled, DR payments are made seasonally or quarterly, depending on the provider. For PJM, the largest U.S. grid operator, enrollment is open for the next period starting in June 2025, with payments in either August or September. Now, even though the capacity increase seems distant, think about enrolling soon as spots are limited. And as always, we are here to guide you through the process. Just reach out if we can be of any help.